This is a live shot here from Newark, where Senator Menendez will be making comments on the indictment that we led the program with at the top of the hour. So roughly 7 p.m., we'll hear from the senator himself, and you can catch it on FiOS 1 New Jersey. Okay, now I know it's April Fool's Day, and the case I'm about to say sounds like a joke, but trust me, there's no punchline to this. This is real. 3 prostitutes are suing the state of California, saying that their First Amendment rights are being violated because their job is against the law and they want to decriminalize it. Now, we know, obviously, in different parts of this world, prostitution is legal, the oldest vocation that we can go through all the litany here. But is there any grounds that they have, and why First Amendment, Susan? Well, what's the case that they're trying to make here that those First Amendment rights are being violated?
It's a tough argument. I mean, you have a First Amendment right to express your opinion about whether prostitution should be legal, but I haven't heard of a First Amendment right to be a dentist or a car salesman or a tailor. So it's really, I mean, the First Amendment covers expression. Now, someone probably could make an argument that the practice of prostitution was an expression of something. I don't know what that is, though. Doug,
you're going to venture to take the other side?
Well, I don't think it's a big leap when you think about it. I mean, you have a First Amendment right to express yourself. These ladies are saying it's their body. I mean, it's them. They want to do what they want with it. Listen, regardless of what you think of prostitution, it's their body. You don't have to like prostitution.
Except we as a society entrust legislatures, federal or state, to create limits. Obviously, we have age limits as to when consenting people can or can't do this. Obviously, there's crimes where people can't force someone into something that they don't want to do. I know the argument here is 2 consenting adults, but we have parameters, whether we agree on a policy standpoint with them or not. Somebody just saying that their First Amendment rights are being violated by it, I don't get, I get your point, you know, expression maybe, but how talking about it then makes the leap to practicing it.
Well, this is their vehicle to get to the courthouse, right? They have to get there somehow, and so they're saying they have a constitutional right to it, and that's where they're going to make their stand, and they're doing it through the First Amendment. Maybe the court's going to tell them that it's misplaced, they should be someplace else, but that's where they decided to take the fight.
They've got 2 lines of attack here. They're also saying that their First Amendment, the First Amendment allows them to discuss prostitution, and so they're challenging the fact that it is a crime to talk to Johns and to solicit. But solicitation is a crime. You don't have a First Amendment right, for example, to talk about a drug deal if it amounts to a conspiracy to commit a crime. But what they're trying to do, I think, is look at the Supreme Court case in Lawrence, and they're trying to equate the private consensual behavior that is protected with what really is the commercialization of their bodies. They're selling, they're in a business. It's different. And it's not, in Lawrence's case, when 2 people were having consensual, they implicated the sodomy laws, the Supreme Court said what people do behind closed doors in a private setting, no matter how reprehensible you may think it is, law enforcement, you have no right to infringe on that. And they're trying to equate it.
But this different because commerce is included, right?
Right.
Commerce is included, but if you look at the First Amendment, it's more than just freedom of speech. You have freedom of association. So they're saying that they ought to be able to associate with whomever they want. It's really the mirror image of the Hobby Lobby case and of the other cases we were talking about in terms of Arkansas, the religious freedom cases. They're saying, look, you're telling us we can't associate with people because there's a financial component. If there was no financial component, there'd be nothing we could say about it. And then if you stop and you look at swimsuit magazines, you look at pornography, people are getting paid to engage in pornography. We talk about the NCAA when the athletes are, people are making money off of the athletes, they don't see any money. So they're actually, although it seems very funny, they may really have an issue. And to your point,
we'll get a whole debate as to whether it's victimless or not, but we've seen in the last couple of years legalization of gay marriage. I'm not connoting in any way the debate here, but legalization. We've seen certain states legalize marijuana here, not even for medicinal, but for just recreational use. Do you think in our lifetimes we'll see the legalization, even with parameters of prostitution? I'm not just talking about some caveats in Nevada or something. I'm talking about it on a more national level. You could tax it. can make revenue.
Well, you may, because it's clearly law enforcement is really not stopping it, and there is, it's a crime partially because we have an interest in the health issues that exist because of prostitution, and there is an argument that if you legalized it and regulated it, then you would be taking care of that in a much more effective way than what is nothing more than a revolving door.
For all advocates of it, you got to look at how things are in the Netherlands and in Europe. It hasn't been exactly the greatest thing since then, and we've seen a lot of problems associated with it.
How would you know that, Rich? No.
To my tees. Thank you, Douglas. When we come back here, he's kidding, Don. When we come back here, we'll take a look at a headlines table, except for Doug. Thank you all very much.